Good morning, everyone. This is the Doctor. It is 9:26 a.m. Pacific time here, and we are in the beautiful Washington State, and it is a little bit cloudy and rainy outside today. I am not going to lie to you guys. But that means it's a great day to make videos, and we're going to talk about my 30-day impressions of War of the Visions so far, and where I kind of sit in terms of how I'm feeling about the game. I think for me, the thing that I love most about the game is the complexity that it has. And when I say complexity, I don't say that lightly. I think when you take a look at it, when you look at the unit screen, for example, you have multiple stats, you have multiple factors, you have abilities that you can awaken, you have job levels you can awaken, you have limit breaks you can awaken, and on top of that you have the equipment layer. And on top of the equipment layer, you have the different types of equipment. On top of the equipment layer, you have the +1, +2. You have the armor, weapon, accessory. And on top of even that, you have espers, and then you have vision cards. And I think once you have an understanding of the espers and the vision cards, the game actually becomes almost a little bit easier. I was talking to someone about theory crafting and how you theory craft in this game. Well, if you actually break it down and look at the cards that are relevant and the cards that everybody's using, there actually isn't that very many different combinations of cards, units, and espers in the meta right now. There's maybe 5 cards that are in the top list, 3 or 4 espers that are in the top list that you should always be using, and there's maybe even, 5 or 6 characters that are quote-unquote optimal or best to be pursued right now. And I think that's what's great, is that layer of complexity in the game. And I also think, in regards to that, the idea that a unit that is not a high rarity unit can be just as strong if you've learned how to navigate those complexities and make that unit strong. So, for example, I am an avid Sir O user. Anyone who's seen me stream will know that I use my Sir O almost constantly here. Give him a little flex on the screen. I love Sir O as a character, and I think being able to max him out, to have my opponents underestimate me, to watch him murder a UR unit who maybe the player didn't take into full consideration all the different stats that are in this game, feels really good to me. So I think while there is a lot of reward in terms of the standard gacha reward of pulling the best unit and using the best unit and being in the meta, there's also that reward for players who are willing to invest in the knowledge of the game and understand really the groundwork and the foundation of what makes the game really good and unique. In a way, you could say that the systems that are in this game are more complex than Final Fantasy Tactics even, but I think that might be going a little bit too far. I think we might need to see more 5-man party content, which I'm sure is coming, in order to really reach that level of complexity where we're considering multi-tier events like Tower, or we're considering multi-party events, and we're factoring in all the different effects from the cards and the espers, and really starting to enter into almost an MMO stage where you're creating a party of 5 to go up against a boss. It'll be really interesting to see how everything shifts and changes when that meta starts approaching on us. I think one of the other things I really enjoyed and really fell in love with almost was the story. And I think there's a lot of people out there who don't like this story. I think this story is not the type of story for them. I think anytime you're talking about a story of political intrigue, you're talking about a story in a gacha game, it's very easy to skip the story. I am someone who skips the story in many of the games that I play. And to be honest with you, I was borderline on skipping the story in this game as well. I feel like the first 2 or 3 chapters did not grab me. I really felt like Mashery was a different character, and I felt like Mashery really carried the narrative for the first 1 or 2 chapters. And then after that, things slowly started to get more interesting. And I think what I actually really love about this game is how the female protagonists seem to just carry the story as we go throughout the storyline. So the storyline seems to pass from Mashery to Helena, and you can almost imagine just the perspectives of the camera angle, right? So like the camera angle is looking on the scene, but it's almost like it's looking from Mashery's perspective or Helena's perspective. There's even multiple times where Lilith comes in and seems to dominate the story. There's other times where we have the whole ninja, Shadow Lynx and Kitone. There's that whole arc where they're coming through, and it's really amazing. I love it. I'm so used to seeing a male-driven narrative that it's kind of cool to see a female-driven narrative in this game. Not only that, they're not afraid to do things that are not taboo in the Final Fantasy franchise, but things that are different, right? Things that are more extreme, I'll put it, be for lack of spoilers. They go a little, it's very like the original Final Fantasy Tactics, where it's that darker, grittier, realistic story that if you're paying attention and if you really get into it in really chapter 3 and 4, it leaves you wanting more. The characters are unique. I think when I met Venera, even though I've only seen Venera in one scene, her character has completely captivated me. And it's not because she's a waifu, you guys. I think it's just the depth of character growth that lies within that character. I want to know that backstory a lot. And I want to know, how did she end up in that position? How did she make the decision she made? I think all of that really drives my love for the story. And I think you really have to really just look at the story and maybe suffer through the first 2 chapters before you really get into it. And I think we're only getting started, and I'm kind of excited. Oh, my phone is shutting down, you guys. Well, oh, this is a unique situation, isn't it? Oh, they say that this stuff happens in live recording, and they're not wrong. Oh, you guys, let this always be known that my stream is never perfect, and I do commit to making one-shots of videos, so we're just gonna upload LD Player for the background right now, and hope you guys are okay with just looking at a black screen for a second. Let's get back into the 30-day review, though, and kind of talk about something that I think is a little harder and a little more frustrating, and that's going to be the sort of things that haven't been changed or haven't been updated, right? So that's going to be the multi-farming system. That's going to be so many different things that they're bringing in quality of lives, right? So like they're bringing in the auto farming system. They're bringing in potentially the equipment changing system. They're bringing in hopefully some type of a conversion between Alcris and shards and souls and all of that. But we still have this problem with the multi, and I thought it was going to be something that would be fixed by now. I think that was my biggest concern and my biggest sort of like, what's going on here? Like, where is all of this? Where is all of this like server side stuff, right? Like we should be able to play multi by now. We're 30 days in. So I think that's my biggest frustration with it, right? That's my biggest like rip my hair out and want to really just like lose my mind, because whenever you're on stream and you're playing with multiple people and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, everything just kind of goes nuts. That's a very frustrating experience, and I think many people share that experience. And when multi is one of the only ways to, say, free-to-play farm or free-to-play engage, it can be really frustrating not fully having that awakened all the way. And you guys, it looks like we do have the background up right now. So we did officially get a background here for you guys. Other than that, I think there's a couple things that we need to do here, right? I think one of the other things we need to talk about, besides the multi-farm that has been frustrating in the last 30 days, definitely has to be the grinding aspect of the game. I think the grinding aspect of the game can be really grueling. It can be very rewarding, but I also think it's a little excessive. This is coming from someone who's played a lot of gacha games, and I've done lots of grinding, and it does feel rewarding when you finally get to that point where you can, use your character at max potential. But it also feels just like, oh, it feels grueling to farm the same stage over and over again. It feels grueling to do all of that. So there is an element of this game that is very grind heavy, and it's tough to get through sometimes, especially, if I didn't have the stream with me all the time, I'm not sure I would have been able to grind through all of that. I'm not sure I would have been able to do all of the multi-farms and get through all of that. So there's an element of almost not aloneness, but of just grueling grinding. Even if you break it down to like, I need this many books in this many days to get a +5 weapon, you're still looking at like 3 to 4 hours of farming if you want to get that +5. So I think if you're a completionist, if you're someone who has to have the best equipment in this game, this might not be the right game for you. It was definitely really hard for me to be like, I could be okay with the +3 Golden Blade. But other than that, I would say, in terms of the grind, you just have to be okay with the grind. You just have to let it do the auto farm, and you just have to put on Netflix, you have to stream, you have to talk with your people. Some combination of that in order to get fulfillment and enjoyment while playing this game, which seems weird, right? Like, you would think that a game should be able to stand on its own without you needing to be doing something else to get fulfillment. But I'm not sure that's quite the case, right? Because there's many games out there where I just wanted something really to do and make progress on while I watched Netflix. Like, I came home from work and I just wanted to watch Netflix and relax, and, maybe I wanted that a little bit more stimulation or something else I could look at and fiddling with and doing, and War of the Visions really is a game that will do that. So it does fill that gap, but if you're looking at full timing the game, it could be really difficult to not get away from the grind and not really wear yourself down substantially. For the future of the game, I'm always going to be optimistic. I hope that the future of this game is going to be really great. I don't fully know if the game is going to make it here in global. I would like to see some of the statistics before I make like a really big guess on how long this game is going to be here. What I am a little bit concerned about, though, is the lack of popularity with Mobius and the similar lack of popularity of War of the Visions. Even though it has so many downloads and it seems to be catching on a little bit, I am concerned that War of the Visions may inevitably be set up to go to the chopping block, and that has me just a little bit concerned right now. I do enjoy this game, and I think there's a lot of potential with the updates that are coming, and what I'm hoping is that the updates just aren't too late in order to save this game, especially with COVID-19 delaying so many things. I feel like if maybe they had waited to launch this game 2 months or 3 months with all the enhanced features that they have promised are coming, I think it's potentially possible that the reception to this game would have been substantially better than what it is right now. I mean, we're 30 days in and we still haven't seen a raid. Multi-farm is still broken. We are experiencing sort of not not a drought of content, but it feels like we're at the game's peak right now almost, right? Like the Final Fantasy. Oh, it logged me into a secondary account, you guys. Well, maybe we'll do some polls here for you guys, and we'll just do some exciting polls in the background. But yeah, that's kind of how it's feeling right now, is that, you know, maybe they should have waited, and I'm hoping that having rolled out the game as early as they didn't just inadvertently kill the game, if that makes sense. And that's kind of my biggest hope and my biggest fear, is that this game, it has so much potential, but its potential will never fully be realized, and that people will not come back and not give this game another chance because of their first experience, or they'll rage quit because they didn't pull Sid, which I mean, let's be honest, like, they did give us free 10 summons to pull on Sid, so it's not like we didn't have the chance to get our Sid, right? So I don't know. I think people rage quitting for not pulling Sid are a little nuts. That being said, I did pull Sid, so it's hard for me. It's hard for me to say and make that opinion. But yeah, overall, I hope the game does good. I'm obviously enjoying making content for you guys, and I'm definitely planning on being here and making content for you guys for the time and for a long time. But my biggest fear is that this is not going to be a long-lasted game. And for as fun as it is, it's my hope that they do optimize it quicker rather than later, so that it does stay in the global market for as long as possible. Alright, we need to we need to do some more summons here and end this. We need to end this video on a positive note here, instead of just a hope that a hope that the game will not burn in a fiery trash fire, similar to this video. So maybe we'll get lucky and pull a Sid here. Oh, let's see here. No, we didn't get a Sid on that one. All right, let's try again. Let's try and pull that Sid again. Oh, silver? No. Oh, we got a rainbow, you guys. Oh, let's see what the rainbow is. Oh, you guys, we fucking pulled Sid. That's hilarious. we fucking pulled Sid and Frederica at the end. Oh, that is absolutely hilarious. So now the question is, do I play on this alt account or not? That's the real question. Oh, well, I can't think of a better way to end this video, you guys. So enjoy the rest of your day. I hope my rambling kept you engaged at least a little bit. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your afternoon.